the girls?
Oh, God, not all the girls. Hey, come on.
Just 3.
Nah, I think one's dropped off.
Where Taylor's head is it with Hannah? I don't know where it is.
Flirting with me.
Ew.
Okay.
I'm going to need someone to explain to me how no one is calling out Taylor. Please, why is no one calling out Taylor? The fact that he keeps going from girl to girl to girl and encouraging them that he's open and encouraging them to pursue something with him and then pretend like he's innocent, I don't get it. The fact that he was able to go to flirt with Chrissy, go from Chrissy, go to Hannah and flirt again, and then go from there, go to Em and flirt and pretend like he's not encouraging this behavior. I don't get it, and I don't know why no one is calling him out. And Sophie, you're my girl, I love you. But please learn to keep a secret. Learn to keep a secret at least for 24 hours. You don't need to just, you might as well just be a river and just flowing through and just passing the information the way she's doing it. Or maybe it's because she's not the closest of friends to Hannah, because why is she dishing out Hannah's, gossip like that? But anyway, I digress. Hey there, thanks for stopping by. It's your girl Valerie. Welcome to my channel. If you're new here, don't forget to subscribe. Click the like button, turn on the notification bell for when I upload new videos, share, and definitely leave a comment. In this episode, I'll be reviewing Love Island Australia, Season 6, Episode 15. So we pick up from, the conversation between Niko and Hannah there. Niko is furious because he can't understand how he's gone from being in a secure couple, the strongest couple in the villa, the mummy and the daddy of the villa, to suddenly mummy is saying, actually, I want to jump ship. And my thought process is, Hannah got the egg. Whatever Niko did, she got the egg. She really didn't feel about him the way she made it seem. I said it before, towards the beginning, that this was a couple of convenience. These were two people who had agreed to stay together as a couple so that they could be the mummy and the daddy of the villa and they could stay till the very end. But whatever Niko did that triggered her or that gave her the egg, Hannah is prepared to jump ship and she's not afraid to hurt anyone else's feelings. I don't know whether Zanti is the one who was sort of calming her down, and now that Zanti is gone, she's free to sort of wild out or whatever. It doesn't make sense. So you have Hannah have a conversation with Sophie. She's sort of telling Sophie that I feel the need to have a conversation with Taylor. Thanks for correcting me, and seeing if he really would be happy if I picked him up at recouple, if I chose to recouple with him. And Sophie's like, whatever makes you happy, do you? Because at the end of the day, Sophie wants Dylan back. So if people have to play musical chairs, she's good as long as Dylan is free. Because if Hannah is going to abandon, Niko, then Sophie is happy because at the end of the day, she hopes that Chris is going to now jump onto the Niko train. So you have Hannah pull Taylor for a chat because Taylor was having a shower and she was busy admiring him and she was salivating and stuff. And so she's having this conversation with him and she's sort of saying to him, I want to know, how would you feel if I picked you up at recoupling? And this is what I think. Taylor is very smart. Taylor doesn't want to be in his couple. He was in another couple of convenience, as I said before. I know people were championing that, yay, Emma and Taylor. No, that wasn't it. I think he was just staying there because that was the only girl who was convenient for him at the time. And then when Chrissy came in, he was interested in Chrissy. Yes, he was interested in Hannah at the start, but she didn't give him the opportunity. And now that he has girls prepared to jump ship for him, he is loving the attention. Taylor is loving the attention. For him to say to Niko, she's your girl, I would see her as your girl, there's no way I would explore anything with her, and then turn around and run to Hannah and say to Hannah, oh, you do what makes you happy, do what is in your best interest. That shows you that he is after the attention. As long as he can get a girl to like him, he wants the girls to make the move. That way he is not guilty or he is not blamed for anything. So the fact that he's not shutting her down, one would have expected him to say, I really like you as a friend, but because of my friendship with Niko, I cannot explore this. This would not be fair on my friendship with Niko. And besides, I gave Niko my word. But no, he said, do what's in your best interest. And now you have Hannah sitting there saying, oh, he gave me the green light. Because she wants to explore things with him. They're talking about giving each other something that he tongue-tied with his mouth and stuff. And it's like, he is opening the door wide open. And then he's running around to Em and saying, no, I don't see anything there. He's going to Niko, I don't see anything there. But in Hannah's face, he's opening the door wide open. He's giving her the opportunity to couple up with him so that he can blame, oh, I'll give you the opportunity. Why are you giving her the opportunity? Are you interested in her? That's it. I really like you, you really like me, so there's no reason why we shouldn't explore this and see where it goes. No, he's telling her. That way he can jump ship, or he doesn't get the blame, because he will say, oh, well, she was really adamant, so I just had no choice but to say yes. That's the impression that I'm getting. And then you have Sophie having a conversation with Niko, because she really feels sorry for Niko. And Sophie's playing checkers. Sophie really wants Dylan back. The audacity to sort of air out something that she's been told by Hannah and say, I can't keep a secret. No, she knows what she's doing. She really knows what she's doing. She really wants her guy back, and she's going to do everything within her power to get her guy back, because the audacity to go from Hannah and then run and reveal Hannah's plans to Niko doesn't make sense. And for her to say, I can't keep a secret. Don't lie, Sophie. This is not the first time Hannah has confided in you and you've kept a secret. So the idea that you'd say you can't keep a secret, no, you know what you're doing. This is the same thing that you did about the Chrissy situation. You want people to play musical chairs. Once you're back with Dylan, then you're good. You're not going to involve yourself in any mess. You're just going to mind your own business. But for now, you're going to stir the pot so that, you get things moving. Dylan was also there, and he was like, this is messy, but I like it. Let Hannah take the villain role, because at the end of the day, my guy has been carrying the mantle for the villain, even though he hasn't done anything. So if Hannah wants to be the villain for now, hey, whatever happens, happens. I do empathize. I do feel sorry for Niko to some extent. Maybe he should have coupled up with someone like Zane. And I have a feeling it could be, I was just thinking about this. It could be the reason why Hannah was holding on to Niko is because she knew that he would end up coupling up with Zanti, and she didn't want him to couple up with Zanti. Or maybe it's me overthinking it, because why is it suddenly she's jumping ship? Why is she jumping ship from Niko? We haven't seen anything or heard anything that is done or said that would sort of justify her actions. So the islanders get ready for the night and go down to pick up their drinks, and you have Tommy doing the toast. Am I surprised? Not really, because he did say it when Sydney left, that now that you've left, I think I'm up next. I'm the one who's going to be leaving, because at least with Sydney was able to sort of humor his quirks, but most of the girls I don't think had time for him. Yeah, they had conversations with him, because I did see him speaking to Mimi and sort of saying to Mimi, he's looking for a special type of person who will match his quirks. And so for him to stand there and say goodbye to everyone, yes, everybody was shocked, but I don't think they were shocked, because he is saying on his exit interview that it would have been difficult for him to explore a connection with the girls, because he believes in bro code, and because he's become friends with most of the guys, it would have been difficult for him to sort of try and steal a girl from one of the other guys, which means that the producers would have had to send in someone that matches his freak in hopes that she will pick him and he will pick her. So I get where he's coming from. Am I surprised he's left? No. I think this wasn't the show for him. I think he was just there for the followers and for the clout. I don't think he was really serious about finding someone, especially the way he was going around the villa, the way he was performing in his thongs and swimsuits and stuff. That was off-putting and would give any girl, even someone who matches his freak, the ick. So I'm not surprised he's gone home. So you have Taylor, after his chat with Hannah, he's now having a chat with Chrissy, and Chrissy is sort of asking him, so where do you stand? How do you feel if I picked you a trick coupling? And he's sort of saying, I'm open to getting to know you. I'm not particular, because she wanted to know, do you only want to focus on Hannah or or do you want to focus on me? And he's giving the same spiel, I would give you a chance because I want to get to know you as well. And she said to him, it seems like you're more interested in Hannah than anyone else. And he's refusing this. And it's like, be honest, who exactly do you want? So this makes us believe that he was never that serious about M. He was putting up with M until the girl showed him interest. Now he's on the center of this love triangle. He now is enjoying and is lapping it up and is sort of playing it as much as he can, because it doesn't make sense to me why he keeps giving these girls the impression that he's open. Choose one person and stick to it. Just say, at the moment, I feel like I want to get to know Hannah first. If it doesn't work out, then I'll be game. If you're game, if you're happy to do that. But no, he didn't. He just pretended as though, oh no, I'm open to getting to know you. And I'm here for Steph. I'm here for Steph. I love Steph now. Steph is now in my gang of people that I love. Yeah, I didn't like him when he was trying to hold Dylan's feet to the fire about kissing Sophie, but now I love him because he said to him, you have to be man enough. You have to decide, what do I want to do? This is not outside in the real world where you've got months to get over a heartbreak and whatever. You need to move swiftly, because Otherwise, you're on the next flight back to Australia. So make a decision. Do you want to explore a connection with Chrissy? If you do, you need to go and pull her for chats. You can't sit there and wait while Hannah's busy doing whatever she's doing. Oh, but I'm trying to be respectful. No, you have to have the cojones and you have to step up. So he went and he pulled, Chrissy for a chat. She was speaking to Taylor and Taylor said, okay, fine, I'll leave the two of you. I'll go. And they started having a conversation with Chrissy. And oh my God, I actually loved the conversation between Niko and Chrissy, because he told Chrissy that I had all my eggs in Hannah's basket, but it seems Hannah didn't have her eggs in my basket. Because at the end of the day, her sort of shifting onto Taylor doesn't make sense. So I've decided to make moves, and you are someone I really liked, but I decided not to sort of put any sort of attention there because I was trying to be respectful and I was trying to sort of concentrate on my connection, but it seems that has gone by the way. So I'm open to getting to know you if you're open to getting to know me. And yes, Chrissy was right to say, what happens to Hannah? Because you have to ask that question. What happens to Hannah? He said he's moved on from Hannah. He says he likes Chrissy and he wants to get to know her. So I really loved how well they gelled, how sort of natural it was and how organic. And Chrissy is right to say that she has to sort of ask herself, does she want to be one of three or does she want to be the only one? If Niko is promising her that she's the only one, then she might as well go for Niko and stick to Niko at the end of the day, because that will work out better long term. Yeah, him holding her hand up the stairs. He was being a gentleman, because otherwise she might trip on the stairs, and then once they got up top, they were still holding hands. And for Taylor to be aggrieved, why are you being aggrieved? Oh, he's moving mad. Is he really liking her, or is he just doing it just because Hannah's moved on? Bro, you told him that you're not going to do anything with Hannah because Hannah is his girl, and yet you have been open to Hannah picking you at recoupling. You're open to chats with Hannah. So everybody's allowed to do what they want in the villa, whether or not he's moving fast or what he's doing. That is none of your business. You focus on the fact that you now have Hannah and as your only two options. Because I think, if I am being honest, Taylor likes Chrissy. That's the long and short of it. But he doesn't want to be the one who picks Chrissy because he doesn't want to look as the bad guy. So he's going to pretend like he's humoring her for as long as she's interested in him. And him seeing her with Niko and her paying Niko attention is why he's jealous, and is why he's now saying, oh, he's moving mad, he's moving mad. And it's like, every time somebody goes after the girl you like, they're moving mad. When she was with Dylan, Dylan is moving mad. Now she's with Niko, Niko is moving mad. If you are interested in her, tell her you're my number one, shut everybody else down and keep working at it. If you're not, sit down and allow other people to enjoy themselves. Okay, I love my girl Sophie, but Sophie, Dylan needs to keep you around him all the time. He needs to keep you away from everybody else, because the fact that you keep spreading everybody else's, drama doesn't make sense. Because she's sitting down with Mimi and Em, because they've been friends, I think, since she came into the villa, and she sort of reveals that since Zanti left, it seems Hannah has started confiding in her more, because we get to see Hannah having conversations with Sophie more than any of the other girls. And she said, she's confided about her stuff and how she's feeling about Taylor. And Mimi corners her, so she reveals that, oh, Hannah's having a conversation with Taylor to see if he wants to recouple with her. And it's like, this is messy. This is so messy. How can you do this? Why are you revealing somebody else's secret? Why not tell her that I'm not to be trusted? Please don't tell me anything, because I think... What do I think? I think to some extent Sophie doesn't like Hannah, the way Hannah and the girls treated her when she first came into the villa. And I think, yes, she's being cordial, but I also think if anybody else were to tell her a secret, she wouldn't reveal it at the rate she's revealing sort of Hannah's secret. She's a sieve. You're just pouring water in and it's just coming out. You now have Em in her feelings because she's upset that Hannah is sort of betraying the girl code and she hasn't said anything to her. And it's like, well, if that's how you feel, have a conversation with her. Don't just sit there and wait to see what happens. Pull her aside, have a conversation, see exactly where you stand, because at the end of the day, if one of those two girls picks your guy, there's a strong likelihood that you could go home, or you could end up with someone who really doesn't feel you that way, because at the moment, she might end up with Mercedes. I don't even know why no one is giving Mercedes attention. Is it because they know that it's an F-boy and they don't want that, or what? Make it make sense. Anyway, you have Dylan come and pull Sophie for a chat, and I was like, oh my God, a little too late. You should have come 5 minutes earlier and stopped her revealing somebody else's secret. So they're in a good space. Sophie's actually saying, oh, surprisingly, we're the strongest couple, even though we're not a couple. And it's like, don't say that. People who are bragging about that are now, torn apart and they're in shambles. I like their little flirty banter. I like the fact that Dylan seems to pull, Sophie for chats more than he did any of his previous partners. And so he must feel something for her. And I hope, they succeed. Anyway, you have Taylor finally pull M for a chat. And he's sort of saying he's open to the idea of any of the 3 girls picking him. M is saying, oh, I'm upset because I feel Hannah should have spoken to me. And this is what I was saying, that at the end of the day, Taylor knows who he wants to pick him. But what Taylor is doing is he's hiding behind the girls. That way all the blame is not put on him and is put on the girls. Whoever picks him is the one who's going to be blamed for picking him, when he knows he's just as guilty as the girl who picks him. But he has decided to hide behind the girls and make it seem as though he had no option but to go with whoever picked him. It wasn't his fault. It was the girl's fault. When he's not shutting them down, he could have easily told them, I'm happy in my couple with M, so I'd rather we not entertain anything. But he's not saying anything because he loves the attention. He loves the fact that the girls are sort of fighting over him and he's at the center. And so I don't know why he's doing that. Finally, you have M and Hannah sit down for a conversation. And personally, I don't know how M expected Hannah to tell her the truth. Hannah is always going to be about Hannah. And so Hannah is always going to prioritize Hannah. And so I don't know. Yes, she revealed the truth that when you walked in on us, this is the conversation we were having. I was telling him that I like him. I'm open to exploring a connection. And then she sort of stopped herself. So he must have given her the green light, because there's no way she would have continued to pull him for chats or been vocal and told Niko that this is what she wanted to do if he had said no. So her silence confirms to me that Taylor is telling these girls certain things, and then he's coming back to M and not telling her the truth. And M is now starting to catch up that, oh, I'm actually being played by this guy. He's using me as a placeholder while he tries to sort of see who he likes between the other 2 girls. And while she's having this conversation, she's fuming, she's furious, she feels disrespected by Hannah because she expected Hannah to have told her that this was her intention. You have Taylor in the kitchen sort of flirting with Chrissy, and it's like Taylor likes chasing girls and then having the girls chase him back. But once he's secure in the couple with the girls, he doesn't like that. And I think he's looking for someone he can manipulate or someone he can sort of read, because this has been one of his biggest problems with M, in the sense that she keeps her cards close to her chest, so he's not able to read her and know exactly where she stands. And so I wish M had actually seen what he was doing in the kitchen, because he was sort of hugging, Chrissy and saying, oh, let me break your back or whatever. And then she took him and was resetting his back. And it's like, this is messy. This is messy. Just make a decision. Who do you like of these 3 girls and stick to that, instead of you sort of chasing after girls because you don't like the fact that the girls are not chasing you. Because he was off Chrissy up until Chrissy coupled up with Dylan, and then suddenly expressed interest, and then has sort of now been entertaining Hannah because Hannah is showing him interest. And the moment he saw that Chrissy might be leaving him and going to Niko, he's gone back to Chrissy again. And it's like, who do you like of these girls? Let a recoupling happen. I wish the boys were the ones that were being made to pick. That way we could see who he was going to pick. Give him first pick and get him to pick the girl that he wants, because otherwise he's going to keep running around in circles and messing about with the girls. I was actually pleasantly surprised by the conversation between Mercedes and M. I didn't expect that. I really didn't expect that, because it seemed she pulled him just to try and sort of get at Taylor, because he was sort of running around between 3 girls. And their conversation, they actually seem to get along. The fact that they both like to travel, they both are not really bothered about having children, and they would rather have a partner they like and they can travel the world. I don't know how serious that is, whether it's Mercedes just saying what he feels that, she wants to hear, or whether that's him being genuine. I understand he's been on F-Boy Island twice, so I don't know whether this is a true reflection of him, or this is just him playing a character and sort of trying to get away from sort of a certain stereotype that's been associated with him. And so they really seem to enjoy their date, and I think Em was taken aback because she didn't expect it. And then suddenly, out of the blue, you have Mimi and Steph come and pretend to be modeling, and it's like, of all the places you could have done this, and of all the times you could have done this, Why not leave these two people to have their conversation? Why do you feel the need to interrupt that? Were you told by the producers to interrupt it or what? I don't get it. And then as soon as you have Mercedes and their conversation, you have Taylor immediately run up and it's like, what are you doing here? He pulls M for a chat, and I felt like he was gaslighting her. Maybe it's just me, but I felt like he was gaslighting her because he said to her, because he asked, oh, tell me about your conversation. And she said, oh, we both, like to travel. I love Texas, blah, blah, blah. He said, okay, fine, you should continue to explore that. And it's like, you do not have any reason to say that to her. She has to make the decision herself. I personally feel like he was looking for an excuse. He was looking for a way of getting rid of M because he doesn't want M anymore. He's now stuck in between this Hannah and Chrissy sandwich, and he prefers to be up there. And so he's looking for a way to sort of pawn up M without looking like a bad guy. Because as soon as M turned the same thing onto him and said to him, I feel you should go and pursue things with Hannah because it seems you like Hannah more than you like any of the other two of us. He then got angry. Why are you saying that? Why are you doing that to me? I get confused. It seems as though you don't care about me. And it's like, this is exactly what you were saying to her. Word for word. It's just the names have been changed, but she's just reversed it back onto you. And so for you to suddenly make her question herself and think she's losing her mind doesn't make sense. I actually think Taylor is the villain in the villa, and people have been ignoring him because he's been able to pretend or get away with playing the nice guy. So the idea that he would say something to and expect her to accept it and then turn around and sort of be upset the moment she says the same thing doesn't make sense. I feel like he was trying to sort of get her to sort of appear desperate. I think he wants the girl that's desperate for him and gives him all the attention. That's the girl he wants to couple up with. And the fact that he has Hannah and sort of semi-Chrissy eating out of his hand, he's expecting the same from M, and M is not giving him that. He's playing stupid games and is about to win a stupid prize. So you have the islanders just sitting around the villa, just hanging out and having conversations. And surprisingly, Taylor has finished, manipulating his girl, and now he's back to having conversations with Kayla and Zane. And it's like, okay, it is what it is. Zane receives a message. The message says, Zane, congratulations on being crowned Mr. Love Island 2024. The hideaway is open tonight. It is up to you which couple enjoys it. Hashtag selfish or selfless. And so you have everyone shout, take it. Steph, the way he was shouting, I'm surprised because I would have expected him to speak to his girl, Mimi, to say, Mimi, shall we take it or not? But everybody was pushing for them. And I was thinking, oh, my poor girl Sophie is thinking, why not hand it over to me? She wants special time alone. But anyway, they're not a couple, so I don't think they would have been allowed. So you have Zane and Kayla go to the hideaway. I am pleasantly surprised that every year they never increase the size of that hideaway. Comparing it to the hideaway from Love Island UK or Love Island USA, you'd expect them to have a bigger room. It looks like a little closet. All they fit in there is just a bed. And if you look at other countries, they actually have, lingerie, they have drinks, they have everything, and people can actually go and sit out. Like the USA one was amazing this year. So I'm surprised that they didn't increase the size of it. And you have Zane having a conversation with Kayla, and Kayla's asking him, have you been to a hotel with your ex-girlfriend or something? And he says, no, not even a situationship. I was like, what does this man do with his dates or the people that he dates? What does he spend time doing with them then if he's not taking them out for dates or stuff? Yeah, they had a massage. It was cute, but it was like, oh, this is awkward. Turn off the light, please. Allow them to have a moment. Don't be inappropriate like you were last season, please, producers. If you were to look up the word villain for season 6, you would find Taylor's face right next to it. Because he's having a conversation with Hannah, he's flirting with Hannah while she's having her snack and sort of just teasing her and not coming out right and saying that she's the one he really likes. But then he implies that he feels like Chrissy has fallen off because Hannah said, it must be hard for you having 3 girls fight over you. And he went, well, one fell off, sort of implying that, Chrissy is now only focused in Niko. And so he only has 2 people to worry about. And it's like, make it make sense. You have Dylan having a conversation with Chrissy because Chrissy is telling him that, she's going to sleep upstairs on the couch. And it's like, Dylan, why not just give her the bed? Then you and Sophie can go and share the couch. Or maybe the producer said, no, we can only have one person out there. It didn't make sense. And for Taylor to then jump and start helping Chrissy and sort of flirting with her and making the bed for her didn't make sense. I didn't like that love triangle, the way he was going to each girl and sort of being sweet to her and being nice and flirty with her, confusing all of them so that none of them wants him to go home. That's the impression that I get, that at recoupling, he wants to have options. He wants them all to pick him and then he not look like the bad guy. And it's like, you can't do that. You can't go and be flirting with Chrissy, making her bed and making it seem like you're really interested in her, cuddling her. And then you go to Ohana, you do the same thing. And then you come back and you do the same thing to M. I don't know why no one is calling him out for it. Anyway, everybody goes to bed. You have him and M, sort of Taylor saying to M, oh, I didn't like what happened. It was very awkward. This is not us. More or less to imply like the fight was uncalled for. And it's like, no, you started this. You have to finish it. And you have to take ownership of it. That you are the one who started it by saying that I should explore things with Mercedes. So I don't get why M is just going along with it. In the hideaway, you have, Zane and Kayla having the time of their life. And it's like, hey, do you? The producers are messy. At least this time we didn't get to hear sounds or anything. That was good. I don't mean to start off by this bit by laughing, but you have Zane and Kayla come back from the hideaway. Steph is so excited. Steph is excited. Is even more excited for Zane than Zane, because Steph is the one who gave Zane something to wear the previous night. So they're having a conversation. They sort of sit boys on their own, girls on their own, and the girls are sort of trying to suss out what's happening, how did it go, whatever. And you have Kayla say, well, they didn't go the whole way, but at least she enjoyed what they did. And Sophie, I need to sit you down and teach you how to keep a secret, because she said, in a non-creepy way, I just want you to know that he knows what he's doing. And it's like, well, maybe it's not the best for you to say. You can't be saying to someone, well, I actually slept with him and he's amazing, so don't worry. When you do sleep with him, he knows what he's doing. And it's like, Sophie, please, that wasn't necessary. That really wasn't necessary. Zane is not telling the guys exactly what happened, but the guys, I think, just assumed, or they just knew what he was talking about that had transpired in the hideaway. But hey, it is what it is. Suddenly, Sophie has been demoted. She can't keep a secret to save her life, so she's been demoted from the Hannah friend group, because this is not the first time I've noticed this, but Hannah has decided to mix with Kayla and Chrissy, and it's like, you're flirting with the enemy. You'd rather the enemy you know than the one you don't. Hey, it is what it is. So the girls are chatting and they're sort of discussing how M appears to be tying Taylor to her side, in the sense that she won't let him go. And you have Chrissy saying, well, it was actually Kayla who said how they spent the night together. So why is she sitting and chatting to him for 2 hours? And it doesn't make sense that you can't hold him down if he doesn't want to be held down. He's still going to do what he's going to do. And so the girls were sort of coming up with a plan of how they could sort of try and pry Taylor away from M, because M didn't want to let him go. And I think all the other girls are wanting to have conversations with him, but they can't, because every time they try and pull him for a chat, M is there and holding on to him. And it's like, there are other guys in the villa. What happened to your conversations with Mercedes? Were you just doing it because you were asked to do it, or did you actually have feelings for him? Make it make sense. This is messy. One thing I love about Steph, though, is he encourages people to sort of pursue something and not just sit there and just watch, because he had a conversation. He was sitting with Mimi having a conversation and about M, sort of saying they like M with Mercedes, because he tried to suss out Mimi first to see if Mimi could tell him what was going on, whether M was really keen on Mercedes or whether she wasn't. So the moment she gave the green light, he then pulled M for a conversation and sort of encouraged M that you can't shut off in the villa. You need to explore what you want to explore. So if you feel like you want to explore something with Mercedes, you need to pull him for a chat. And in the end, you could tell M had no choice but to give in. So she went for a chat with Mercedes, and they were actually enjoying themselves, and they were actually very cute. And then out of the blue, you have Kayla sort of exercising with Hannah, and that was unnecessary for her to be a bridge and have the guys looking at her, for JJ's doesn't make sense. For me, it was inappropriate. She should have turned around the other way. And then suddenly, out of the blue, you have Taylor there. Taylor loves the attention. Taylor loves the flirting. Taylor loves getting away with whatever. And I think because he saw that M was having a conversation with Mercedes, he decided to be petty and have a flirting session in the shower with Hannah, not realizing that if Hannah wants him, she's going to get him. And that's a given. And you had people like Zane, and it's like, Zane, you're friends with Niko. How can you say that Hannah looks better with Taylor than she does with Niko? Make it make sense. The flirting was inappropriate. The taking of a shower was inappropriate. The fact that you had her massaging him with cream on his back was inappropriate. Even the conversation upstairs was inappropriate. And it's going to become more messy and more cutthroat. And with the new bombshell coming in, I wonder what's going to happen, Mia. Because I don't get why they're bringing her in, because she's just a 2.0 version of Chrissy. So I don't get it, because they're both Greek. They both have, dark hair. They're both tiny. So it's going to be interesting to see which one of the guys goes after her. Is it Mercedes or is it Niko? But Niko seems to be set with Chrissy. I hope he moves on to Mia, she's a bit younger, but I think he would be more settled there because she doesn't have any history with anyone in the villa. Anyway, thanks guys for watching. Please don't forget to like, share, comment, and subscribe. And click the link in my video to watch my review from episode 14. Bye guys.